Good afternoon, Savva here from Football Heritage TV, joined by Henry Wright from Henry Wright TV. Today, we are going to talk about what a bad week for Tottenham Hotspur. It's not materialised. The deals haven't come out. We've now gone on tour, pre-season tour. Also, we'll be talking about Daniel Levy in direct communication with Bayern. What's happening? Why can other clubs get it done better than us? Join us in a few seconds. Big up, welcome to the channel. Henry, let's get straight into it, mate. Look, we were promised big things. Lots of the ITKs, the Romanos, the Ornsteins, everyone talking about how close these deals are. Tottenham are going to get their centre-backs. We're finally going to get this sorted out. Nothing's materialised this week other than the Manor Solomon deal on a free, which was agreed a week earlier. What's going on, mate? What is happening at Tottenham Hotspur right now?
It's one of those windows, isn't it? It can either go fantastic or it can go absolutely terribly wrong. And we were all told by, Romano, Ornstein, Darren Yarlett, Paul O'Keefe, every single ITK and reporter on the planet said that Tottenham wanted to get these centre-backs in before pre-season tour. Well,
yeah,
we fly out at some point today. And we've got, an 18-hour round trip to Australia. And we are no closer than we were 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Romano said 4 days ago that we were in advanced talks, and we're literally no closer. What is advanced talks?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the key thing, right? Is this, as far as I'm aware, this came out 2.5 weeks ago, nearly 3 weeks ago, that Tottenham were in talks with both Van der Ven and with Tapsoba. All the noises were that the Van der Ven deal was the one that was easier to get over the line, and that was closer. Tapsoba would be possible afterwards, but we might only go for one. As you said, Romano tells us all. Now, listen, again, there are people who love Romano, people who don't like him, people who don't believe in it. But he came out and said, Spurs are close to agreeing a figure now. Talks were good. That was Monday. We're now Friday afternoon. ITKs have been telling us that the deal is basically done. We're just waiting to book in a medical. We're going on tour. It's still not happened. Are you concerned that this is turning into another Spursy window?
It reminds me of Dybala all over again. We got the Dybala deal fee agreed, and then it just fell apart because of one reason or another. Honestly, mate, if we don't bring in Tapsoba and Van der Ven, that deserves to be a protest on its own. We're not going and getting these centre backs from Barcelona or PSG or Juventus. They're from Leverkusen and Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
We're haggling over whether it's 30-40 million euros or 30-40 million pounds. We started the window great. We brought a goalkeeper in, we brought Maddison in, but we're sitting here now as of the 14th of July. We play our first game in 4 days.
Yeah.
Against a West Ham team that have already played 2 games in pre-season and will be fitter than us. And we're no closer. Mate, it's so frustrating. And then you look at other clubs, like you mentioned before we started, the RB potentially going to Villa, West Ham looking at Alvarez from Ajax, Villa also got Pau Torres. How are Villa able to bring in Pau Torres faster than we can get Van der Ven?
I think that's the biggest frustration from Spurs fans, right? Is it's not as though this is if we're talking about centre-backs, it's not as if this is a new dilemma at Spurs. It's not like this has crept up on us. It's not like we've had brilliant centre-backs and now they're leaving and we don't know what to do. We've known about this as a club for years and years and years, haven't addressed it. And it's the speed. Like you say, look, Diaby at Villa, I'm not saying it's done, but Villa had a bid yesterday rejected. Romano's already saying again, depending on if you believe him or not, that they're going to go back in later today with another bid. Other clubs seem to put the bid in. It seems to move quickly. Now, I get it. If it's a Declan Rice, you're talking 105 million. It's a big deal. Payment structures. Like you said, no offense to Wolfsburg, but we're talking about a mid-table German team.
Yep.
A 22-year-old raw centre half We can't even go and get that done in 2 weeks. And yet our fans talk about Bastoni, Laporte, right?
Oh yeah,
This is
because
the
Laporte's going to leave treble-winning City to
for
join
Tottenham
Tottenham.
Hotspur.
Like,
But this is the pond we're fishing in, and we can't even successfully hook the fish. What on earth is it's crazy, right? This is Daniel Levy to a T.
yeah, yeah, it is. I put something on Twitter about 10 minutes ago saying how we know closer, and more people are saying it's because of Levy. It's because of Levy. It's because of Levy.
Yeah.
We're like you said, we're not going and getting Declan Rice. We're not putting hundreds of millions of pounds on the table. We're putting 30 million. Like, come on now. We're
Yeah.
looking at the back from Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
Like,
And isn't it for me? I was just having a chat on another channel about. For me, it's not forget Van der Ven and Tapsoba for a second. This could be whoever, insert whatever centre backs we're after. The reason we're also frustrated about these two is because they're the two we've been told we're in talks with. But surely, if a deal is difficult with Tapsoba, if a deal is difficult with Van der Ven, surely we're in the background talking to other clubs about other centre halves. There must be more options. It can't just be these two or Longley, can it? It
you
can't be
think you'd
like
have a backup plan, wouldn't you? You think,
right.
if West Ham wanted Paulina, they wanted to get Paulina from Fulham. Their backup plan is Alvarez at Ajax. He's a good player, by the way. Um, you know, it's for me. There's transfers. Like I said to Sean yesterday, everything off the pitch at Tottenham we do to the highest standard, right? We look
Correct.
at, the training facilities, the stadium. When the NFL's on, look at the atmosphere in the stadium, how good and clean it looks. When it comes to transfers, we don't know our hand from our foot. We
Yeah.
are one of the worst teams in the transfer market. People will come out and probably say, if you can't see what Postecoglou is doing, go down the Emirates, or you're so negative,
Yeah,
Henry and
get Danny
Savva.
Emirates.
But honestly, mate, like, how are we arguing over it and haggling over buying a centre back from Wolfsburg? I've never seen a football club, a supposedly big football club, do this. Man
Well, this
City
is
and Chelsea identify players and they get them.
well, this is the thing, Henry. When people start talking about why can't we get the Bastonis, why can't we go and get the 80, 90 million pound players, just go and bid for them. When you're looking at we can't get 22-year-olds over the line in 2 weeks, how long would it take us to go and negotiate a deal for a Laporte, who's a treble winner, multiple leagues, Spanish international, playing for the best club in the world, and people think we're going to go in and go, what, 50, 60? It's madness. But for me, the difficulty is that first game's Monday. Whoever the centre backs are not going to be there for sure because we're going to have to get them in, medicals done, visas. Second game's only a few days after that. What if they miss that? Now we're in 3 games deep into pre-season and still no new defenders for Postecoglou to work with in pre-season. And we're already going to be playing catch-up, right? If we don't get them in soon.
Yeah, do you know what it is, mate? Like I've looked at, if you look at the last 5 or 6 windows we've had, who's the fastest deal we've got done? You probably think Basuma.
Right.
Right? If you look at all the transfers we do, right, how many of them have been really tough deals? And I mean, look at Brighton and Chelsea negotiating now. That's proper negotiating. The money's here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just down to structure. When's the last time, mate, we bought a player and we went, do you know, that's a really tough deal to get over the line. Well done. Like, look at it.
No, we didn't.
Perisic from Inter Milan to Tottenham, right? Bissouma,
free.
Brighton to Tottenham. Wolfsburg to Tottenham. Leverkusen to Tottenham. When do we ever go and buy a player from a so-called big club outside of, people might say, oh, what about Bentancur and Kulusevski from Juventus? They weren't cemented in the first team.
Yeah. I think when you look at it, look, Bentancur and Kulusevski, a club, Juventus, financial trouble, all of the stuff going on there. You look at Perisic as a free, Basuma with 1 year left on his contract, right? Maddison, 1 year left on his contract. Richarlison, Everton in deep financial trouble. There's never a signing where it's really tough to go and get it over the line.
And even the Richarlison signing, right? Because of their financial difficulty, we had to get the deal done quickly. So we got it wrapped up within like 72 hours.
Yeah, no, mate. Listen, I absolutely agree. Listen, just moving on from transfers for a second. I don't want to talk about this for too long, but all of the reports. I mean, if you go, as I showed earlier on my show, if you Google Levy talks to Bayern, all that comes up today is the Mirror, the Sun, Sky Sports, BT, ESPN. Everyone is running an article about Daniel Levy meeting with the Bayern directors. Then all of the articles seem to go on to say, but none of the conversation was around a fee for Harry Kane. But one, do you think these meetings happened? And two, if they're not discussing a fee for Harry Kane, what on earth are Daniel Levy and Bayern officials meeting to discuss?
We might be getting Musiala or Musiala, whatever he's called. You never know. He might be coming to Tottenham. No,
Yeah,
Danny
yeah.
Gilpatrick put it out, and he's probably on a par with Ali Gold in terms of the reliability of the reports he puts out in the Tottenham world. And he come out and said the same thing. He said that he met with the Bayern CEO. It's not Oliver Kahn anymore; it's someone else. And yeah, they were discussing Kane, but they weren't discussing numbers. There was no bid on the table. I don't think this is going to happen, mate. I can see Kane signing a new deal, right?
Yep.
But would there be anyone that Tottenham might be interested in taking from Bayern Munich that is out of the first team? Someone like Pavard, for instance?
Who has just been announced as on City's radar to replace Kyle Walker, by the way. That's just been announced by Ornstein and Romano that Pavard is City's #1 choice to replace Kyle Walker.
If Kyle Walker goes, that is.
If he goes, again, would a Benjamin Pavard be interested in coming to a Tottenham Hotspur? Because I look at it and say straight away, the fact that he's linked with clubs like Man City tells me everything about, can we get him? It just, it's everything that's wrong with Tottenham right now is we just don't seem to be able to attract players. We're not in that position anymore. We've wasted multiple years when we were second, third, fourth, regularly in the Champions League to attract those players, and we didn't. And it looks like we're paying for that now. But do you even believe that Levy would sell? Because some reports tell you Levy has zero interest no matter what the figure. Other reports tell you he is open to the sale, but the number needs to begin with a 1, i.e. £100 million. Do you think it's probably somewhere in the middle of that, or do you believe either side?
I believe Daniel Levy's got a number in mind, right? I think there's, if you said let him go on a free or I don't know, 100 million, you've got to take the 100 million, right?
Sure.
Ali Gold come out and said he wanted 120 million, which I normally trust Ali Gold with his reports. But then you also see the likes of David Ornstein saying, but Kane wants the Bayern Munich move. All of these things can be right. You always say two things can be right at once. But mate, I just can't see that Daniel Levy sells Kane. Matt Law coming out yesterday saying they're prepared to give him 400 grand a week, which will make him, I believe, the second or third highest paid player in the league.
Right.
And behind, I think it's KDB and Haaland, right? Which obviously at the highest levels.
Yeah.
And then they're on about giving him a coaching thing. But if you're Harry Kane, I'm thinking, screwed. I can be a coach at any club in the world.
Yeah.
I've only got probably 4 or 5 years at the top. I want to go and win something.
Yeah, I mean,
surely you'd be thinking that.
Talking about coaching roles at the age of 30, it seems really, really redundant as well, doesn't it? I mean, listen, one thing I've criticised Spurs fans for is the number of fans that, because it's Harry Kane, seem to come out and it's changed. Now, all of a sudden, it's not about winning trophies. It's about what's happened. Is the player happy? Are his family happy? Does he want to move? Maybe winning trophies isn't important. Is a League Cup more important than winning a league with Bayern Munich or Real Madrid? It's crazy. I've never known a fan base talk like this, Henry. Top players want to win trophies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why is Kane different?
I can't, mate. I can't answer it. Apparently, he doesn't want to join another team in the Premier League because of his loyalty to Tottenham. Right? Ali Gold said that. He said he only wants to join. If he leaves Tottenham, he wants to leave on good terms. Yeah. And he wants to leave to a club where he goes abroad. I think if he's going to go anywhere, it probably will be Bayern Munich. Because If he leaves, no one's going to go, oh, Harry Kane this, Harry Kane that. It's like, fair enough. Okay. He's,
Yeah.
you know,
10 seasons, over 300 goals. You know, he's done his
he's
bit, right?
joining Bayern Munich where you could, that trophy that you've wanted for years and years and years, you can go and get now.
Yeah. It's amazing. Listen, I'm going to wrap it up there, but it is amazing, Henry, the number of fans that also belittle a club the size of Bayern Munich.
It's
Like,
madness.
The number of fans going, oh, would you want to just go there for a league that's won every year? But yet those fans were saying he could have joined Man City, who win the Premier League
every year.
Every year. So it absolutely makes you laugh. Bayern Munich won multiple Champions Leagues, hundreds of league titles. They win cups, but apparently he's better off and he'd rather win a League Cup with Spurs. I'll leave it there. Listen, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We'll be back, I'm sure, when anything breaks. Let's pray for centre-backs very, very soon. And as always, come on, you Spurs. Take care.